This podcast is being powered by Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. So, today I learned a little bit about the foster care system. My friend Regan spent a couple of years in the system and opens up about how he was treated in the houses that he was put into. And let me tell you, it's upsetting and humanizing. Kudos to Regan for being the badass that he is. And now let's get right into the episode. Enjoy! What up, y'all? Welcome back to Mentally a Badass. My name is Justine, and today's topic, we are going to be talking about the foster care system. And my friend Regan, he actually was in the foster care system for a couple of years. So we are going to talk about how mental health correlates with being in the foster care system. So I'm super excited. So Regan, if you want to just say hello.
Hello, everyone. Glad to be here and talking with you today about this.
Perfect. Okay, awesome. So, my first question for you, are you ready, Regan? Are you ready?
No. Yes.
Well, if it was no, then I think we got a problem right now.
No. It's yes. Absolutely ready.
All right, perfect. Okay, so let's just start out with how old were you when you were put into the foster care system?
I was around 4.5 when I was put into the system.
Okay, so you were fairly young. What led you into the foster care system? If you're willing to be open about that.
Yeah. I was actually my birth mother was forced to give me and my birth sister away because she was alcoholic, drug addict, like everything that a parent shouldn't be doing, she was doing. So she had to basically, she was forced to sign away her rights.
Wow, gotcha. Yeah. So you said you had a sister. Are you still in contact with her?
So that's a huge long story as well. But she found me on Facebook about 3, 4 years ago, and we've been in contact since then.
Oh my goodness, that is so awesome. And that just must be really upsetting to be forced to be away from your sibling. How old's your sister?
She's a couple years, less than she's 20, 26, 27.
Okay, so she's like a little younger than you.
Yeah, a little younger than me.
Okay, so she was like pretty much
She was,
a baby.
yeah, she was like 2 years old.
2 years old toddler. So she probably doesn't have too much memory of the actual events when you were taken away to go into the foster care system. But that must have been like, was that like hard for you to like if you like my next question is like if you can explain like if you remember since you were 4 years
Mhm.
old, your emotional like your mind and like your emotional like experience with being taken away from your mother being going into the foster care system.
Well, the thing that mainly sucked at the time of being taken away was just getting separated from my sister. Being separated from my birth mother, I didn't really care because I
Mm.
basically I was 4 years old and I was basically raising my birth sister. So
You
yeah,
were
so being away from my birth mother, I was like cool, but then being away from my birth sister, I was like, oh, this sucks.
Oh wow, so you probably like resented your mother from everything.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
still kind of do to this day.
Yeah. Were you ever able to like get in contact with her? Like, did she try getting you guys back?
No, since she signed away, since she was forced to sign away her rights.
Oh wait, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
When you sign that, that makes that's a
yeah,
different
she
thing.
never had any legal right.
Yeah.
Apparently, she contacted DSHS like a couple of years ago, and then they reached out to my family who adopted me,
Hmm.
saying that like, oh, I have money set aside for me from my grandparents from like her parents and stuff. But then my
Hmm.
mom figured out that it was a lie. So, but she was like, "Hey, if you want the number, I have it here." And I was like, "Nope, I don't want her number."
Okay, so you haven't been at all in contact with your mother, like
Nope.
you never cared to have any type of relationship with her.
Maybe one day. I'm still trying to like, since me and my sister just found each other a couple of years ago, and we're still trying to develop like we're brothers sisters, but we still need to like want to know each other more. But we both want to be able to go if we do decide to do it, like make sure we meet her together, talk to her together, not separately.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like that's definitely a good idea to kind of just go together, to have that emotional support with each other. I mean, for me, I do not have any idea of how it would feel of being in your position since I wasn't, but I can like even imagine like how like overwhelming that can be for you. But I definitely do hope that you would be able to, get together with your sister and just like, sit down like with a cup of coffee or whatever, and just be like, "Hi mother, like how you been?" Like, just checking up, seeing if she's like, doing well or been to rehab
Sober.
or, helped herself, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and
One day, hopefully.
no, yeah, definitely. Um, does your sister live in the same area as you?
Oh no, she did growing up, but I didn't know that until like we finally met. But she actually lives down in California now and is married. She just got married last month.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Good for her. That's
yeah,
awesome.
I'm happy. And then I have she has a niece. I have a niece through her as well, and but
That's
she's
nice.
moving back up here within the next 2 months. So that's going to be exciting. I'm excited for that.
So did you like see her face to face yet?
Yeah, no, I've met her. I've met up to
Okay.
her about 3 times. So
Oh, that's so cool.
we met like within a week of her finding me on Facebook and stuff. We met at what is that Red Robin, and then since then we just met up a couple times.
That's so awesome. I wonder how she. So like this, I'm actually really curious and because since I'm kind of ignorant of how everything works. Yeah, I'm really just learning through all these guests that I have on my podcast. But um, for when it comes to your last name, does your last name change when you get adopted?
Yes, my old last name used to be Amarine, and now like it's Veal. But so how she found me was, and this is a funny story too.
Mm-hmm.
She as she was drunk because she tells it like how she tells it is she was really drunk, so she messaged every Regan in Washington State on Facebook.
No way.
Yep. So this is when I was uh working at a bar. So like I finished like working. We closed the bar and I like got drunk too. So next thing I know, I'm in my room like about to pass out, and I just look at my phone. It's like Lily wants to send you a message. And I'm like, who the heck is the Lily? Why does she want to send me a message? Wouldn't be funny if this was my birth sister. So I open up the message and she's like, "Hi, I have a strange question for you." I'm like, "What's your question?" She's like, "Were you adopted?" And I was like, yeah." She's like, "Was your like birth mom's name Lauren?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "I think I'm your sister." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's my sister!"
Oh my goodness, that is amazing.
Yeah. so
Wow.
yeah,
Wait,
she
how did
messed
she
it.
know your birth parents' names?
No, so she knew my birth name and stuff
Oh
because
no, I meant
I
birth parents. I mean, no, sorry, my adoptive parents. Wait, did she
oh
know
no
you were
no
adopt? Oh, wait, no, she said birth parents.
yeah, birth parent, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said adopt. I thought she said adoptive. Like, wait, how does she know your adoptive parents'
Oh
names?
yeah, no, she doesn't know my adopted parents' name.
Oh my God, that is insane. Like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, that's crazy. You guys like, I'm assuming you guys probably like get along very well, right?
Oh
Well, you
yeah,
guys just
no.
like know, yeah. Well, that's really cool. And that must be like really awesome to have a family member in your life like that. Does any of like the extended family, like grandparents or whatever from your mother, like does she like do they try to be in, I don't know if that's like a weird question, like if you know what
So
I
yeah,
mean.
through my birth mom, no, unfortunately, none of them. like really know anything about me
Oh
because
yeah.
they know I was born and stuff, but I got separated for so young, and everything was at that time was like sealed. And then if they try to go find me now too, HIPAA's in place now too, so they can't find out that information. But
Oh yeah.
I could figure out who they are because I have all the paperwork from before HIPAA was a thing. So I have everything I have. It's not edited, not blacked out. So I have everyone's medical information and everything. So
Interesting.
if I wanted to, I could figure it out. But I'm just not interested in that.
Hmm. Yeah. I totally get that. I know some people are like interested to like know like their roots, you know what I mean? Like where they came from and
Yeah.
like
Well,
I
my
guess, yeah.
that's why I took a DNA test from Ancestry.com a couple
Uh-huh.
years ago to figure out that, and then my mom the mom who adopted my mom, yeah, she's my mom, but she actually, since she knew some more history of stuff too, she has like my part of my family tree from my birth mom's side
Mhm.
figured out. So if I wanted to, I could do it, but I'm just not interested in it right now.
What about your father's side, if you don't mind me asking?
I unfortunately my birth mom was uh a kind of a stripper slash prostitute, so I do not know my birth dad. I know nothing about him.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I kind of wonder if like you never know and like
they
he just like
they
passes you in like a grocery
they
store.
they tested a lot of men to see if any of them were my dad, and none of them were.
Wow.
Yep, it's all good though.
Yeah, definitely. So that must be like kind of like challenging in like doctor's offices. Like you know how they usually ask like, "Oh, does anyone in your family have like cancer or this or that?"
Yeah, well, yeah, through my dad's side, I would not know, but thankfully, since I know who my birth mom is, I know what medical stuff I have from her side, so that's always good.
Yeah, definitely.
But nothing's happened yet, knock on wood.
Yep, knock on wood. Okay. So do you in the foster care system, let's talk about you being in there. Do you feel that you were treated appropriately and right? Cuz I hear so many negative things about it, but then again like I honestly, I think you are actually no, I do know one person who was adopted, but I'm not I am as close with her like I am with you. So
Mhm.
I so pretty much I'm just gonna say you didn't want to know then. That's in the that was I was adopted in the foster care system. So I'm very curious. Cause I watch all these like I watched the Fosters and everything. I was like really into that show, and
I tried to watch that show. I
yeah,
couldn't.
you did. Why'd you stop?
It's some of the stuff that I just was just like that would never happen. That would never happen.
You mean like going into like
But
like juvie and like
oh no, that definitely could happen. But I'm talking about how like that they had that whole like the foster care person having a relationship with
oh,
that
you mean
like
like
that
that
like yeah they would automatically move move the person and then make sure there was no contact, and like they would never make sure they're placed in the area again, like they would completely
uh
separate them.
But then again, we don't really know that because it's like maybe it's just maybe certain parts of the foster care system in different states or different parts of the country are really bad.
But
Um,
with a lot of people who are in the foster care system, some of them it's because of sexual assault or
mm-hmm.
anything like that. So any type of relationship like that, they would move it away. Like if it was inside the household, they would move away so they wouldn't stuff so nothing would happen.
Right. Then I
Yeah,
wonder why they make. I guess just for the drama of the actual show.
yeah.
I
No, that's
guess.
like that's why I couldn't watch. I was like, oh, just too much drama about it. I'm like, whatever. But I heard it's
Yeah.
good though. But yeah, I just didn't relate to it.
Yeah. No, I get that. But then again, like I don't know. I've never been in the foster care system. I have no idea. at all. No experience. The only thing I know is just like from what you're saying and from the shows that I've watched and such. Um, but but yeah, so you do feel that you were treated right. So I guess that's a good thing to hear, right?
Oh, treated right? Oh no,
Oh
absolutely.
no, you said I thought you. Okay, never mind.
No,
Maybe
no,
I
it's just
just like skipped what I said.
no, because yeah, because we started talking about the monsters, but
Right.
there were ups and downs, but mainly downs until the house that I was finally until I was put in the house that adopted me.
I'm sorry. Do you mind repeating before that? You
So
said it's.
there was ups and downs, but
Mm-hmm.
mainly downs until I was put into the house that adopted me.
What would the downs? Do you mind like expressing what that was?
Yeah, in one of the household, I was actually starved, beaten, and they locked me in my room constantly.
Oh my
And then
goodness.
and then the room itself, the carpet was filled with fleas. Uh, yeah, no, it's
Ew.
I would have to I learned how to break out of the room, and at night I would break out to go into the kitchen to like sneak food for me and for the other foster kid who was living in the room with me. So
That's
I would do that.
insane. That
Yeah.
gets me so freaking mad. It's like they're treating these kids like if they're like animals, like lock them in the room. Like
Yep.
what?
They were treating me like I was just a paycheck because they get
Oh,
money per
yeah.
kid that they watch.
That is, I know, and I heard that's a problem. That's a huge problem in the foster care system is that people are doing it for that paycheck, and then when they have the kids, they
They
just
treat
like
me
take the money for themselves.
exactly. They would make sure I'm fed and showered and clothed when like the my social worker would come or when I had to go do visitations with my birth mom and stuff. But that's it. Other than that, they didn't really care about me.
That is so upsetting. Do you feel that that caused you some like emotional trauma because of that?
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah, I know it's a kind of a
absolutely,
dumb question, but
absolutely.
um,
But and thankfully, it was a couple of years ago. My mom found out that the husband of them was in jail. Don't know what for, but that was good. Don't know what's up with the wife, but with her, it was more of, and I'm thinking more about it now. It's more she was only doing it because he was making her do it.
mhm.
So hopefully she's okay and that she's out of that abusive relationship.
I feel like they lack like foster care parents who actually care
Yeah,
about the kids. Like that's a huge problem. Like I can't like if I were to be a foster parent, like I would literally do it for caring of like these children and such. Like literally you're fostering them. Like it just can't like I mean I it's just horrible. Like starving you? What?
yeah,
Like
no.
how do they not like wait, how many foster homes were you in?
a, a lot because some of them, so there's foster homes and then there's respites. So
What are respites?
respites when are like basically they're people who have their foster care license, but you would
Mhm.
only be there for like a day or two. So it's just
Okay.
you're placed there until they can find you a foster home. So I was probably in a bunch of different respites and stuff, but max of like 4 or 5 foster homes, but each of them were a little bit longer. It's like the one that I was being starved and stuff, I was there for about a year. Like
Uh-huh.
yeah, and then I got then I got put into the house that I was got adopted, and I was there for about a year as well. So, and then all the other ones I was just in the houses for like not too long.
Were any of the foster homes a good experience?
Yeah, one of them was. It was the one right before I got put into the house that treated me terrible. But she apparently my I was talking to my mom a couple uh like last year and stuff, and she was like, "Hey, that family like apparently wanted to adopt you, but at that time your my birth mom still hadn't signed over her rights."
Mm-hmm.
And so she was like, "Nope, I don't want her living. I don't want Regan living with them because they took out his earrings because I had earrings when I was a kid. So the
Mm-hmm.
family took out my earrings. So my birth mom was like, no, didn't like that.
Oh, wow. So, how long was your birth mother and somewhat involved until she signed her rights away?
Oh, until I got put into the house that adopted me. So that was, and I got that. That was like six, no, yeah, 6 years old for that. So for the 2 years, yeah. So it wasn't until like
So,
near the very ending that she finally signed over.
so she didn't did she like at all try to get you back in those 2 years before she signed her rights away?
So she followed what the court said to get even visitation. But even when I would have the visitation with her, you could tell that she was not actually trying to fix her life.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, then they noticed that too, obviously, and they was like, "All right, like you're not even trying, so why are you even coming to visit if you're not even trying?"
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, and it's like really upsetting to. Again, I hope now maybe she's better now, but we don't. Of course, we don't know that.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, it's always like hoping for the best and such. So, do you have any other stories of the other homes that you were in that
Hmm.
like I'm just like really curious to know what really goes on in these houses.
Well, I would say like I don't know too much about the foster care system now, but like I do know it has changed a lot
Mhm.
since I was in it because my the family that adopted me like we adopted another my sister Gloria and stuff, not my birth sister, but like they adopted another girl named Gloria and stuff, and then my parents for years were respite, like well, I said respite for like just a couple of days and stuff, so we had multiple foster kids coming in and out of our house. So,
Mhm.
and you could just, they would tell stories from other houses as well too. Some of
Mhm.
them good, some of them bad, but it seems like the system has changed a lot more. It's still like not that great,
Mhm.
but it's better than it was back then because they try at least to do more background information and research on the families that want to do this.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like they shouldn't like I feel like it shouldn't be easy to be a foster parent because it's extremely important to not treat these kids as numbers. And but then again,
Exactly.
like who knows if like there's an issue with more kids going into the foster care system
Yeah.
now. And so it's like we want quality foster parents, but there's so much quantity, and like that's like where the issue is like of course I don't really know anything like number wise or such, but I can imagine like I mean it's good that they have like new systems in place, but I can't like I kind of wonder like how it is with the because like with the increase of population
Mhm.
and more people having kids, and who knows if like it could have increased more with the pandemic people. Actually, no, I don't really know, who knows, but
Mhm.
want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
um so when I was in Jersey yesterday, and I noticed that driving around I see so many like those like billboards of like advertising for a like oh you're like addiction like like for it's like for addiction and all of
Yeah.
that. And I looked at my mom, I was like, Mom, why is there so many like it's such a big thing here? And it's like, oh
Jersey
yeah, the
everywhere.
pandemic. I mean here I feel like on the highways in Florida I see a lot of like car accidents, like lawyers, and like I see a lot of that on the highway.
Not, see, that's because Florida doesn't care if you're addicted.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like in Jersey, I'm honestly not even shocked if that was an issue, just because of like the area that I lived in, it's the suburbs, but the area surrounding it can be like poverty,
Mhm.
and it's also right by New York City too as well. So I mean, I just maybe I just didn't notice it when I was younger, but like when I was there, I kept seeing so many billboards, like so much of it, like all around. I was like, oh my God.
Maybe it's trying to tell you something. I'm just joking.
I don't know. I don't know, but that was interesting. This funny how my mom was like, "Oh, the pandemic. Everyone's drinking.
It's true.
Everyone's on drugs.
It's
Because they
true.
want to get away from reality, which is like
Exactly.
that's
Exactly.
probably what happened."
But don't do it too much.
All right. So, going to my next question, did you have a hard time adjusting to your new family?
Oh, absolutely.
Tell me all
Absolutely.
about it.
So I was like, I grew up in foster care, and then before that, I grew up like rough because of everything that was happening in the household. So like, before I was adopted, I would literally, my brother Caleb, like we were kids, I would literally beat the shit out of him. Like we'd be
Mm?
roughhouse, and I would literally just punch my mom, punch the Jerry, the I call him
So we'd
Jerry.
like act out.
Yeah, I would act out, but like they couldn't do anything because I wasn't adopted yet. They couldn't lay hands on me, and I knew that, and I
Oh,
knew
that's
that,
true.
and I knew that. So it was awesome. But I just remember because that's how I was, and I was constantly I'd get in trouble in school and stuff. But I was in kindergarten and then first grade and stuff. But well, yeah, no. So I had a hard time because I'm just so used to just being like, oh yeah, they're just gonna give me away. So like, why care and stuff.
Aw.
So yeah, but yeah, no, that changed. So it took a while, but then I realized, oh, these people actually like me. Okay.
That was literally how the show was too.
Oh yeah, no, I remember that part. That I understood that. I was like, okay, yep, I get that part.
I totally can see how when you're just constantly switch to different houses and being mistreated, it's hard for you to trust somebody.
Exactly, exactly.
And then it's also just doesn't really help with self-esteem as well.
Oh yeah, no.
And so that is I can totally see that. Did your sister go through something similar?
Uh, she went through a lot worse stuff. Yeah, sadly.
Yeah.
She told me some of that stuff, and I'm just like, God damn it! I wish I would have been there to help you.
To beat them up for you, for
Oh
her.
yeah, absolutely. I'm fine throwing a punch.
Yeah. But so tell me about like the happy experience of getting adopted, of finding your forever home.
Yeah, it's just awesome. They're just like finally we're like, hey, like your mother signed away your stuff. We want to adopt you. What do you think? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. So I remember we went to the courthouse, got all adopted, and I remember my favorite memory of the adoption is get going back to school that day. So I got
Hmm.
adopted in the morning, went back to school, and since my last name used to be Amaran and stuff, I walked into my first grade class, Mrs. Eggy, and right when I walked through the front door, everyone in my class had made a huge sign that says "Congratulations, Regan
Aw.
Beal," like my new name on it. Everyone signed it and stuff. So that was like the happiest experience to walk in and be like, "Wow, I am adopted." So
That's
yeah,
such a great
I think that
feeling.
was like the happiest feeling and so and I still have that sign.
That's
I
awesome.
still have that sign. I have it in my in a little box my mom made for me with a bunch of my memories and stuff, and it's still in there. And
Aw.
I'm still friends with a lot of the people who I was in first grade class with.
That's really cool. And that's
Yeah,
such a but wow, and you went through that since such a young age too.
yeah.
Like dang.
And then like yeah, and the fact that like everyone there got like had everything explained to them too, so they understood what was going on. Like it was awesome. Yeah.
That's awesome. So fast forwarding to present time.
Hmm.
Do you do you think back I think I'm trying the best way to ask this question. So how do you go through like day and day like knowing that you have like what happened to you in the past? Like
Hmm.
how do you cope? Like that's a lot and that can stick with someone at least in their subconscious. So like how do you cope? How do you go like day by day? Like how like what is your like Like, what
What
is
is
your
my
whole like
life like now?
pretty much. I think that was
Yeah,
probably the best way. How is your life right now? I mean, I'm pretty involved in your life,
yeah,
kinda.
yeah. You're one of my closest friends, yeah. No, but yeah, no, I'd say like through everything that happened to me there, I have depression and anxiety, just that from foster care, and then just a combination of just everything else and stuff. And I'd say as of right now, it's more of like, especially because of this pandemic, as well. It's just I have a lot of anxiety now, and
Mhm.
like I think if I didn't go through what I went through at such of a young age, I probably wouldn't have it as bad as I do. But day to day, it's just me just trying to be like, okay, yeah, don't worry, like you can eat, you have food and stuff. So a thing that
Mhm.
I still do to this day, subconsciously, like, and I do it by accident, is I always get more food than I can eat. Still
Oh,
to this day,
okay.
I always, I
That
always
makes so
I
much
always
sense.
like buy, like if I go to like a restaurant, I get more food than I can like eat. Like my mom has said stuff about that, and so I was like, okay, like Regan, why do you order the most expensive, biggest thing on the menu? I'm like, I don't even realize I'm doing it. That just looked good. But yeah, and to this day, like because of not being starved when I was younger and stuff, not being able to eat, I'm like always just get more because I'm like, okay, why am I doing this? I know I get to eat, but it's just a whole subconscious thing.
It's your childhood. It's your
Yeah,
child screaming inside,
exactly,
like, okay, I have access to food. Let me get it all. Like, you never know if it's gonna be like taken away again.
exactly. And I'm just like, but then I do it, and I'm like, dang it, why did I do this? but
Wow.
but that's
That
one of
is
the things
so
that I do.
interesting.
Yeah,
That is, I mean, that's I'm not fascinating. That's not a good thing to say that it's fascinating, but it's just for me with a like a psychology background, it just like that makes a lot of sense. It's your like child screaming like in the back of your head, and I feel like a lot of people today don't really think it's really necessary to dig deep into your childhood trauma because literally our brains form around that age, and every traumatic event that happens, it sticks there more than it does as I mean, as an adult, you go through a traumatic event, obviously it's going to stick with you, but like it's harder to get rid of, not get rid of, but like heal from childhood trauma versus like any other phase in your life because you're just didn't know better. And when you're learning and you're growing and you're everything is just like that, like you're learning thinking that when you were like, how old are you? You said 4?
yeah.
So
I was 4 to 7. Yeah,
so when you're 4, it's just like you're kind of thinking like it's not the norm, but like it's like you're learning it kind of fun. It's like it's I don't necessarily know how to
exactly.
explain. This is why I'm not a therapist.
And it was like I was like 4 years old, but at the same time, I was older than what I was because I was taking care of like my sister and then everything I went through as well. So it was like I had to be older, but I wasn't.
That is insane how you were taking care of your sister when you were 4.
Yep. I would have to like dig through trash cans, and then I got water from the toilet.
Oh my god, I'm gonna cry.
Don't.
Oh my god,
That's
that's
the
so
pen.
bad.
Oh yeah, it was
That's
bad.
horrible. Oh my god, I just like want to give you a hug. All these people that I interview live in the West Coast, and I'm like, I just want to give you guys all a hug.
West Coast, best coast. But you'll come visit sometime.
I will. I will. When everything makes sense for me, I will. But yeah, it's crazy. It's funny. It really wait, you know what? Oh my gosh. I just thought of something.
What?
Do you want remember how we met?
Yeah, yeah,
You were giving me water.
yeah. Water. Oh, I love how you say water.
Shut up.
Yep, water at what's it, VidCon.
Yes, you were giving me water. Maybe that was just your instinct to just, I need to take care of Justine.
Take care of people. That's always my instinct. Oh, bam! Another thing that I do. Take care of people.
No, yeah, you do. You are really big on that too. You like check in on me, like, well, you used to check in on me every day, and you kind of slowed down on that.
That's because I'm busy with life. I'm more. I haven't had. Yesterday was my first day off in like 19 days.
Really?
Because I'm working both jobs now, so
Oh, right.
Sunday's my last
Yeah.
day at the other job.
Hi, y'all. I hope you guys are enjoying this episode. The best way for my podcast to grow is for you guys to share my podcast to your friends, family, neighbors, coworkers, or a random person on the street, or whoever that had ears that can listen to audio. That is how we grow. Leaving me a review on Apple Podcasts is also very helpful as well. Lastly, you totally do not have to do this, but if you want to support my dream of being a content creator full time, you could donate as low as $1 through listener support that is linked in my podcast bio. Alrighty, I'm done here. Now let's continue the rest of the episode. All right, so we are coming on 37 minutes, and I think we had a very valuable conversation. And I want to thank you again for coming onto my podcast and telling me the inside of the foster care system.
Yeah,
And
at
I'm
least
sorry
back
we had to
then.
go through that. Like, dang.
Oh, it's made me who I am now. Like,
It is a very.
granted, some things sucked, but like, I wouldn't change it because like I don't know where I would be in my life now if some of those things didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows? You would have never met me.
Exactly.
And
And
apparently you need me in your life from what you
that
said today.
and that's the most important thing is you. Oh my gosh.
Shut up. You just say to me today, you're like, my life is not okay without talking to you. You said something like that, right?
Hey, everyone in the world and everyone who listens to this podcast, tell people what they want to hear.
Tell them. Oh, please. I can get a screenshot of this conversation and blast you on it. I'll put it on my Insta story.
And then I'll just say like, oh yeah, she wanted to hear that, so I told her.
Oh my god. Oh, and I have the timestamps. Alrighty. Well, yeah, thanks again for being my podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you want to follow Regan or if you want people to follow him, I'll put his information, Instagram, into the description of this episode.
Heads up, if you do go to my Instagram, just get ready for a lot of like anti-government fight the system stories.
Oh, I mean, I do that all the time, so
just a heads up, everyone.
True. All right, guys. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, midday, whatever. I love you guys, and I will post again next weekend. Bye.
Bye-bye.